Hello, it's Larry with Rapid Set Metal Buildings, and this is video number 7 of our series of our price online system in simple mode. And you can see that this is the next page after you choose the overall size and the loads and codes in it. And there's an intense amount of math that comes in here and figures out, well, the optimum frame space according to the loads and codes that were put in is, in this case, let's say this building is 56 and it's 182018. And how we do that, or why we do that, is because the corner areas of the building, and the same with the sidewall here, is 2122. So the ends of the buildings, or the corners of the buildings, have a shorter span. And the reason is because the newer codes nowadays are they do zone wind, which means you'll have more pressure at the roof corners and at the side corners of the building. So let's get started. If you have your layout in simple mode, you're not able to change your base spacing or your framing or your bracing or any of that. You'd have to go into advanced mode. And by the way, to get into advanced mode, you just click on setup box number 1 when you start a new quote, and you could get into advanced mode, because here it says simple. But let's go ahead and work with this one. And what you can do is click on any wall you want. Like, let's say if I want an opening right here, you just simply click the wall, and then you could choose what opening or what space you like to have your framed opening in, and then you simply pull down the options, and the options will only allow you to pull down, or the options that show will only be the ones that are available for that size bay. So if you needed a bigger framed opening, you just simply have to get into advanced mode, and then you're able to set the bay widths. Then you can go crazy with bay spacing and whatnot. But in this case, if I want a framed opening here, and let's say I want a framed opening here, and then I try to put one in the last bay, no matter how many bays you have. And by the way, it will just automatically do the same thing if you have 5 bays or 20 bays. It will restrict you in some bays because the system needs bracing. So let's say we want a 8x9 there. It's going to say you've got to have bracing in that bay. And the reason is because as a company, we have decided that we aren't going to use panel shear or other types of bracing, because basically whoever you sell it to can come back later and cut an opening in, and then all of a sudden the bracing for the building is not safe, and it could literally fall over. We reserve bays for bracing on all 6 surfaces, and obviously if it's a single slope, it'd be 5 surfaces, or the configuration of the building. And also that helps you a lot with erecting the building, because it's easier to square that way. So let's say we're done with this wall, and on the end walls here, we've also done a whole bunch of math that will allow the center bay. You see how the walls are 12 foot high right here, and in here we're only going to allow a 10 foot high opening, because we need 2 foot for the curve of the sectional door, or whatever kind of door you're putting in there. You still need roughly about 2 foot of space above the framed opening in order for it to work correctly. But if you move over here, all of a sudden you've got 12 high, and the reason is because we take into account the space as the rafters go up on whatever slope you chose. So there's like a diagonal check on that to make sure we don't hit the rafter. But as the slope grows, you gain more height in the middle. And again, if you need more height or more, super custom, then just go to advanced mode, and that's where you do that stuff. So let's go done, and then let's go ahead and put a window in to show you how that works. Now the opening width, let's say we want a window that's 3x3. So let's go 3. Opening height would be 3. Top of window, let's say about 7. And then the left offset, and keep in mind the left offset would be by the bay. So if you have an offset from here, if you're doing it in this bay, it would be offset from here. If you're doing it in this bay, it would be offset from here. But let's do 2 feet, just so you can visually see it. There you go. And let's say done. And that's about it. Obviously in advanced mode you can set different bracing, like expandable end wall frames and portal frames and wind columns and all that kind of good stuff in order to fill up the bays or riding arenas or do whatever you want. But in this case, we try to make it so simple that you could just simply get a commodity level building, get a price, and move forward. This is Larry with Rapid Set Metal Buildings, and that's it for this video. See you on the next.